All right. Today I want to talk a little bit about the Logos 6 Starter Legacy Library. Now, it's going to sound a little bit like a sales pitch, but I'll give some explanation, and no, I'm not making any money off of this. There's really two features, or two sides of Logos. There are the tools features, and there are the resources. Tools are accessed through your tools panel. You can see things like the atlas, the fact book, highlights, information, text comparison tools, the search feature, which is extremely powerful, notes features, the things you've already been exploring, highlighting, interlinears, being able to see the words underneath the words, that sort of thing. Those are all the features of Logos. But then you also have your resources or your books. Your resources are found in your search field, and what's been demonstrated here has been the free version. So the free version comes with some basic books, some resources, about 70 to 90. I've added a few other free ones into this. But the features are also in the free version features. So there's some that are going to be grayed out. Like I'm not able to use the sentence diagrammer feature unless I got a feature set. And you can really think about the difference between these things as the tools being something like a tool belt, tools on the belt, and then your resources being the raw material that your tools interact with. So if you think of like a wood crafting or wood crafting illustration, your tools are the different tools that you're going to use for interacting with the raw material of the wood, the thing you're actually going to be engaging with. So you have a limitation in two different ways when you're dealing with you have a limitation of your resources to draw from, and you have a limitation of your tools to use. The free version is extremely powerful, extremely helpful, and gives you far more access than you'd have with something that's just print. But even with the free version, the tools are tremendous, but you're limited by what resources you have. You only have a handful of Bibles. If you go into your commentaries section and filter by commentaries, you realize I only have 2 Bible commentaries. One is Marvin Vincent's Word Studies and David Fawcett and Brown, which is an excellent commentary. David Fawcett Brown is excellent. It's still a go-to for good reason, but you're limited. I mean, those are 2 commentaries that you're able to engage with. You're not able to engage with a whole library. So that's where this Logos 6 Starter Legacy Library comes in. And I want to just go over to illustrate this. The Logos 6 Legacy Starter Library. Now, it's important to realize, and I'm going to recommend that this be your place to start when purchasing anything from Logos. It's there's a sale going on right now, but normally this is $35. That's the typical price. It's $35 that gets you access to a number of, because this is a legacy library, you're not actually buying any additional features. So you still have the free features. So you're still working with the same tool belt and the same tools, but it's adding to your library. So a legacy library is adding that kind of raw material for actually engaging and searching. So that's the Logos 6 Legacy Library. And what it comes with, a number of different Bibles. You'll get several Bible translations. A couple that I would really highlight. You get the New English Translation, the first edition, and you also get the New English Translation notes. Both of those are extremely helpful. You also get the NASB 1995, which is a wonderful translation. And you also get the New Living Translation and the Message, which are in some ways more like commentaries, but because they're such a dynamic approach to translation, it can be really interesting to say, well, how would the New Living Translation translate this? What would they use? So it comes with those translations and several others. It comes with 11 different Bible commentaries. A couple key ones to illustrate would be you get Matthew Henry's commentary, you get Matthew Poole's commentary, you get the Holman Concise Bible commentary. I mean, you get all these, but also the Bible Knowledge commentary, which is excellent. And as with any commentary, it depends on the book. Some are better than others. When you have a whole Bible commentary, maybe, for example, Psalms by Alan Ross is going to be an excellent one, but maybe one of the ones by Zane Hodge is not going to be your first pick. There's going to be a variety in there. So you're going to get some Bible commentaries. You're going to get some Bible encyclopedias, which are going to be useful for just looking up information and trying to search for what do I know about Jerusalem, or what do I need to know about Gath, that sort of thing. The one I'd specifically highlight is the International Standard Bible Encyclopedia. This one has been referenced for years for good reason. It's an excellent compilation of articles on key information. So those are some different resources you get there. You also get the Lexham Glossary of Theology. There's a variety of different Bible guides, Bible studies. You get some devotionals, including Pilgrim's Progress, which is one I would recommend every Christian read. You also get, with Pilgrim's Progress, it's part 1 and part 2. And what's wonderful about Logos Resources is all of the verses are searchable immediately, so you can just highlight over a verse to see what he's referencing. A couple other things, you get a couple audio Bibles, some hermeneutics resources, and what's really key is these dictionary of biblical languages with semantic domains. You get that for the Greek, for the Hebrew, and for the Aramaic, which is wonderfully important when you're looking into what does this word mean, what could it mean, what is its semantic domain or its semantic range, which we'll talk about in another video. And then you also get some systematic theologies. You get Louis Berkhoff, A.H. Strong, and there's another systematic theology by Charles Hodge that you get down in this section. So a number of different research, and an English dictionary too, which is handy, and a few other different resources, different images, some apologetics resources. So just a variety of resources that are available in there. So for that reason, I would recommend this being your place to start. You can really easily spend way too much money in Logos using things that you're not going to use, but spending $35 to get access to, if you were to buy each of these separately, the price tag would be $1,600, which would be a lot of money to spend. But this is just a really affordable way. For the price of a good study Bible, you can have access to all of these resources that are, you then own the license to them. You can then download them to your phone, have them with you, download them to your hard drive. You own them. You can do with them as you wish. So just wanted to recommend that, and then demonstrate a few things about how to actually use those resources, how to think through and filter your library. So I will demonstrate that in just a moment. So I've gone ahead and changed into my normal account now. So I'm no longer in demo. This is a paid account. So there's going to be potentially some tools that might not be available in the free version, but this is to demonstrate what is available in the Logos 6 Starter Legacy Library. So I'm going to specifically open up my library, and I've filtered, so this is normal library, but I've filtered Logos 6 so that I've gone through and tagged what's available in Logos 6. So that's why you're seeing that displayed as it is. I'm going to make this full screen and just kind of talk through some of the resources in the Logos 6 Legacy Library. So the starter library comes with around 70 resources, 75, 80 or so. And this is just all of them organized not well, just kind of thrown out there. I talked through some of them in just a moment ago, but a couple things I want to just highlight for how to engage with your library, because it can be really intimidating to just look at a list of works. I'm like, I don't know what I'm looking at here. I don't know what I'm finding. If you go to the right panel here, I have already filtered for Logos 6, but now let's just try filtering for Bible commentary. I click on Bible commentary, and now it's going to filter down to just the commentaries that I have in my library. So I can quickly see, all right, what commentaries do I have in my library? Or maybe I want to filter down to, so what are some other options? I could filter by author, see what authors are there. I can see also by type. I could see monographs, just like one-off books, encyclopedias. So what do I own that are encyclopedias? Okay, I have 5, 6 different encyclopedias, Dictionary of Christianity in America. Maybe I want to do some research on a specific branch of Christianity. So I have encyclopedias I could look to. I have systematic theologies I can sort by and see quickly, all right, here's the 4 systematic theologies that I can look to. I could also see monographs, which are just what are the one-off books that I have in my library. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know I had a treatise concerning religious affections by Jonathan Edwards. That's great. Or, oh, I didn't know I had Pilgrim's Progress. And, oh, it says I have the audio for it also, so I could listen to Pilgrim's Progress. That sort of thing. So all of that's done through filtering and through searching. So if I wanted to just search Matthew Henry, I'm quickly confronted with, oh, cool, I have Matthew Henry's Concise, and I also have Matthew Henry's Commentary. So those are just really quick ways to engage with your library. Now, not all resources are created equal. Some of them are not great. There's 2 in particular that I would recommend removing from your library. You won't actually truly remove them. You'll still have the license to them. You can open them back up later, but basically hiding them so that they don't show up when you're trying to do exegetical work and have it clouding your studies. So those 2, first how to do it is you go to Program Settings, and I would dock this as another window. So dock this tab, and now you see Libraries behind here, Program Settings. Drag Program Settings off to the side, and scroll all the way to the bottom, and you're going to find Hidden Books. These are books that you've encountered in your library that you're like, man, this is not a good book. I don't want to be drawing from this when I'm doing my exegetical studies. I don't want to accidentally think that what I'm reading here is really good when I've already analyzed. No, this is not something I want to be drawing from. So I've already done that with the Revised Standard Version Catholic Edition. I don't want to accidentally get confused when I'm going for the RSV to accidentally grab the Catholic Edition. I also noticed I found a resource in my library called The Secret of the Rosary. I got it in some package, and it's blatantly Roman Catholic and not one that I want clouding my searches. So there are 2 in Logos 6 Starter Legacy Library that I would recommend doing this. Obviously, I'm not going to force anyone to do this, but my recommendation would be to not have these things clouding your library. That is the GNTC, the Grace New Testament Commentary. And I also have it tagged for bad theology. There's just a lot of points in this commentary where they blatantly force their interpretation into passages that just simply are not there. So for that reason, I would recommend dragging and dropping that in to here. And now that's going to remove the Grace New Testament Commentary from my library. It's not going to show up in my searches. It's not going to show up in my passage guides. I'm not going to be accidentally confronted with this. Now, I want to remember that this is here. I want to be mindful and be like, oh, if I want to read a different perspective on this passage, this is a great place to go. And there's not that everything in it is bad. So I still have it. I could just simply unselect it, and it'll pop back up in my library once it loads, and then it'll be there again. So I'd recommend putting the Grace New Testament Commentary somewhere where it's not going to be a distraction. And then the other one, sadly, is the Women's Bible Commentary, 3rd edition. Absolutely nothing against women in scholarship and the valuable work that they contribute to exegetical studies, but this textbook is not one of them. It's an example of eisegesis to the nth degree. A lot of forcing of the text and some really progressive ideas just in general, an approach to Scripture that's not respecting its inspiration and authority. So for that reason, I do not want that clouding my resources, so I'm going to put that in there. Now again, you still own these resources, you still have access to them. You can unfilter those at any time, which is extremely valuable when you want to read a competing perspective and hear the other side. But when you want to just be quickly accessing resources, you don't want those two clouding your resources. So I'd recommend putting those into your program settings in the bottom in that section down there.